of every 10 working in India, Inc. are showing high levels of burnout, distress, anxiety and depression, according to a global study by McKinsey. As per the report, a toxic workplace is the biggest reason behind these emerging trends. Toxic workplace behavior also accounts for quote-unquote intent to leave, with employees reporting a desire to leave their job at almost 60% greater than the global average. In a different study, 41% of Indian employees cite a lack of separation between work and personal life as reasons for the stress they're feeling. Employers with businesses in India, therefore, face quite a big problem. Now, to understand what exactly this survey finds and the basis for this, I'm joined now by Sasikanth Dola, partner at McKinsey and Company. Mr. Dola, thank you so much for joining us. Now, what I found particularly interesting as part of this survey was one of the biggest reasons you've given, which is a toxic work environment leading to people feeling burnout. But that seems like a very subjective thing. It might be a toxic work environment for some people and not for others. So how do you, for this survey, define a toxic work environment?
Yeah. So this, the way we've, come up with toxic work environment is we looked at 8 dimensions of workplace behaviors, right? So we looked at sustainable work, we looked at inclusivity and belonging, we looked at supportive growth environment, commitment to the organization, leadership accountability, access to resources, and in general behaviors of colleagues and employees in the workspace, right? So we looked at all these factors to define what are the workplace dimensions, right? And a combination of this actually leads to toxic work environment. And in the survey, what came out is toxic work environment actually answers or kind of explains 90% of the symptoms we were talking about in terms of burnout, in terms of anxiety, in terms of depression. What's also, exacerbates this situation in Asia, also in India, is that culturally, we have a stigma to reach out or be open about getting help in terms of mental health, right? So not only, employees in India are experiencing a higher percentage or a higher number of people are experiencing these symptoms, but this is exacerbated by the fact that we have a stigma in Asian cultures to be open about it and reach out for help, right? So which is actually a double whammy, if you think of it.
As per your survey, do workplaces in India tend to be more toxic than other parts of the world? Because if the global average is, about 25%, and we're seeing 4 in 10 in India, why is that?
That's when we analyze all the 8 dimensions we are saying, we can say that the workplace environment or the toxic workplace environment is leading to more people having these symptoms, right? So while we can't directly say, okay, the environment is toxic, but it is leading to more people having symptoms of burnout, having symptoms of anxiety and depression.
Now, you've talked about solutions, Sashi, and the first in your list of solutions is for companies and teams to admit that there is a problem. Is that really the hardest and most elusive solution to find? Because companies rarely want to admit that, or teams don't want to admit that they're fostering a toxic environment.
Yeah. So I think actually, we speak about 3 solutions which are, very interrelated. And like you rightly said, Tamanna, first one is effectively addressing the toxic behaviors, right? And honest look at it, admitting that there is a problem and actually being open and transparent, right? So that's really the first solution. The second solution we should speak about is the right resources to serve the employee needs, which have to be a combination of foundation level resources, but also tailored support for employees. Right? Each employee has a different need. Like a young parent has different needs. Parents who have elder kids have different needs. Elderly working population have different needs. Women have different needs, and so on and so forth. So really identifying the right resources to serve employee needs and customizing them is very important as a second solution. The third solution, which is linked to the first one, Tamanna, like you rightly said, being honest and transparent, is improved measurement and ability to listen well in the organization, right? Those capabilities are very important, right? How do you measure these dimensions? How do you measure these symptoms? How do you improve your listening skills in terms of how the employees are feeling is very important. And then the quality of actions and holistic nature of actions is very important, right? So several employers have solutions around individual initiatives, right? Like, meditation, counseling. While they are effective, they are not sufficient. Right. And they're not holistic.
It is, I think, the most important point is to actually, sure, sir. The most important thing is to actually agree and understand that there is an issue here. Thank you so much, Mr. Dola, for joining us on the show today. And I'm completely out of time. That's a wrap on this edition of Beyond the Headline. But thank you for staying with us through the show. We hope to see you back here tomorrow. We'll be here, same time, same place.